Okay, continuing. तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परम् आप्नोति पूरुषः. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by working without attachment one attains the supreme. तस्मात् श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर तस्मात् तव ज्ञानभूमिका आरोहणे न अस्ति योग्यता. Therefore, you do not have the eligibility to step on the platform of jnana or knowledge. Kamya karmani tu sad vivekavatah tava na eva adhikaraha, and you certainly are not eligible to engage in the optional desirable allowances, kamya karma, in Vedic dharma, because you possess spiritual discrimination, you possess good discrimination. तस्मा निष्काम कर्मैव कुरु इत्याह तस्मादिति. Therefore, you should only engage in nishkama karma, in the activities of the karma system without any material desire, just to become purified. You should engage in these activities to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, in order to make spiritual progress. With this in mind, he speaks the text beginning Tasmat, Tasmaditi, Karyam, Avashya Kartavyatvaina Vihitam, Param, Moksham. You should engage in these activities which have been prescribed for you as something that is simply meant to be done, not activities which are meant for your material enjoyment. These are just activities which are meant to be done. And when you engage in such activities with uh, such a non-materialistic state of consciousness, you will attain the supreme, which means you will attain liberation from material existence. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, কর্মফলে অনাসক্ত হইয়া তুমি সর্বদা কর্মানুষ্ঠান করো. Being detached from the results of being detached from the fruits of karma, it means being detached from the material benefits that can accrue to you by engaging in the material prescribed duties taught in Vedic dharma. Simply engage in your material duties in the karma system constantly. Jehetu, because anasakta bhave karma kurite kurite jiver moksha labha. Because when one engages in the activities of the karma system without attachment, without any material desires, then the living entity attains liberation. Moksha, argichunai. Liberation is nothing but केवल कर्म सकलेर चरम परिपाक अवस्थाय जे परमा भक्ति ताहाई मात्र. It is nothing but supreme bhakti, which is attained in the final mature state after one engages in all forms of karma. So from karma one comes to jnana, then from jnana one comes to bhakti. So it is that bhakti which is this liberation that is being described as. कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिं मास्थिता जनकादयः लोकसंग्रहमेवापि संपश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि. Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. अत्र सदाचारं प्रमाणयति कर्मणा इति, and he provides as evidence the behavior of the saintly. यदि वा त्वम् आत्मानं ज्ञान अधिकारिणं मन्यसे तदपि लोके शिक्षा ग्रहणार्थं कर्मैव कुरु इत्याह लोकेति. If you consider yourself as being fit for the practice of jnana, even then you should simply engage in the activities of karma in order to teach others, in order to teach the world. This is brought out in the second half of this verse. To engage in the activities of karma, one should first of all retire from family life. In other words, one should become an ascetic, should actively become an ascetic. Then he can engage in the activities of the jnana system. But, and that is what Krishna is anticipating, that Arjuna might be thinking, that I should be engaging in the activities of the jnana system. I should not be engaging in the activities of the karma system. Of course, the activities of the bhakti system are automatically included in the activities of the jnana system. And the activities of the bhakti and jnana systems are automatically included in the activities of the karma system. But still, when we talk about engaging in the activities of the jnana system, it means to not engage in any of the activities of the karma system. In other words, you become an ascetic, and you simply engage in directly spiritual activities. These are spelled out as 21 plus 9 activities in the 7th canto, 11th chapter, as I have often pointed out. There are 30 common duties. There are 30 duties common to all of humanity, out of which 21 belong to the jnana system and 9, referring to the 9 types of bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam and so on, belong to the bhakti system. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out that Lord Krishna intends to convey to Arjuna that even if Arjuna thinks that he is supposed to transcend the entire karma system and simply engage in the activities of the jnana system, of course, with now with the bhakti that is there, still he should, for teaching others the value of karma, he should himself participate in the activities of the karma system. So he can be a king, he can be a grihastha, and he can engage in the activities of the karma system. He can engage in his ashrama karma and varna karma for others' benefit, for the benefit of those who do need to engage in the activities of the karma system. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, जन प्रवृत्ति ज्ञानाधिकारी व्यक्तिगण कर्म द्वारा भक्ति रूप संसिद्धि प्राप्त होया छिलेन. Personalities who were fit for jnana, such as King Janaka, had attained perfection in the form of bhakti directly by engaging in the activities of karma, simply from karma. অতএব লোক শিক্ষার্থেও তুমি কর্ম করিতে যোগ্য হও. Therefore, in order to teach the public, in order to teach the world, you should become eligible to engage in karma, in the activities of the karma system. The idea is that you do not need to move from karma to jnana to bhakti. You can directly move from karma to bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam explicitly recognizes this. Tavat karmani kurvita na nirvidyete yavata yavat mat katha shravanado va shraddha va mahi jayate. One can upgrade himself from the karma system to the jnana system if he attains renunciation. and then from the jnana system he can move up to the bhakti system. That is understood. Or from the platform of karma he can directly come to the platform of bhakti if he has somehow attained shraddha. Shraddha means all I need to do in life is to engage in bhakti. My only duty is to engage in the activities of bhakti, mukhya bhakti. When he's engaged in the activities of karma with a non-materialistic spirit to satisfy Krishna in order to become free from lust, anger, greed, he's already engaging in Gauna Bhakti. But when he attains faith, that all I need to do is to engage in the activities of Mukhya Bhakti, direct Bhakti, and I don't need to do anything else, then he can directly move from karma to bhakti, bypassing jnana. That is the point that is being brought out here. That great personalities like King Janaka had without touching jnana, they are directly moved up. Yad yadacharati shreshthastaptadevetaro janah sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanu vartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Lokasangraha prakarameva yajyatiti. And the method by which he can attract the public to engage, to follow in his footsteps, is being brought out by Lord Krishna in this verse. শ্রেষ্ঠ লোক যে রূপ আচরণ করিয়া থাকেন অশ্রেষ্ঠ ব্যক্তিগণ তদ অনুকরণ করেন. Not okay, ordinary people imitate the behavior of extraordinary people or great souls. তিনি যাহাকে প্রমাণ বলিয়া স্বীকার করেন লোক তাহাতেই অনুবর্তী হয়. The world follows that which he regards as being valuable, as being valid. Whatever he accepts as valid, they also accept as valid. That is the point. न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यं त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन नानवाप्तमवाप्तव्यं वर्त एव च कर्मणि. O son of Pritha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems. Nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything. And yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. Atra ahameva drishtanta ityah tribhi. In this regard, I myself am an example. With this in mind, he speaks 3 verses beginning with this verse. He Partha, আমি পরমেশ্বর, এই ত্রিলোক মধ্যে আমার কিছুই কর্তব্য নাই, তথাপি আমি কর্মাচরণ করিতেছি. O son of Pritha, I am the Supreme Lord. There is nothing I need to do in these 3 worlds. There is nothing I am obliged to do in these 3 worlds. Nevertheless, I am engaged in the conduct of karma. That is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. यदि ह्यहं न वर्तेयं जातु कर्मण्यतन्द्रितः मम वर्तमान वर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः. For if I ever failed to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties of Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. अनुवर्तन्ते अनुवर्ते रन् इत्यर्थः ग्रामेटिकल नोट অতন্ত্রিত হইয়া যদি আমি কর্মত্যাগ করি if I inattentively abandon uh, any prescribed duty within the karma system তবে আমার অনুবর্তী হইয়া সকল মনুষ্যই কর্মত্যাগ করিবে then all people would follow me and abandon their duties within karma. They would abandon their karma duties. Utside yurime loka na kuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyam imah praja. Utside yur माम दृष्टांति कृत्य धर्मम अकुर्वाणा भ्रंश्येयुः. They would be scattered, meaning they would become deviant by not performing dharma, by considering me an example. Tatascha varna sankarah bhavet, and from that would come out varna sankaras. Tasyapyahameva kartasyam, and I would be the creator of the varna sankara population. Evam ahameva prajahanyam malinah kuryam. In this way, I would be the one who would be contaminating my progeny, this offspring. আমি কর্ম না করিলে কর্ম ত্যাগ পূর্বক সমস্ত লোক উৎসন্ন হইবে. If I do not engage in my karma duty, then all these people would abandon the duties of karma. এবং আমার দ্বারা ভিধি সাংকর্য উৎপত্তি হইলে, and when there is a confusion regarding the law of human behavior, समस्त प्रज्ञा विनष्ट हइबे. It's a printing mistake. समस्त प्रजा विनष्ट हइबे. All creatures would be destroyed. सक्ताः कर्मण्य विद्वांसो यथा कुर्वन्ति भारत कुर्याद् विद्वांस्तथा सक्तश्चिकीर्षुर्लोकसंग्रहम्. Okay, here is Prabhupada's translation. If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population. I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings. And this verse, as the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path. Tasmat प्रतिष्ठितेन ज्ञानिना अपि कर्म कर्तव्यम इत्युपसंहरति सक्ताः इति. Therefore, for a person who is well established as a leader in society, even if he is on the platform of jnana, he must execute his duties of karma. With this in mind, he summarizes his teachings on this point with this text beginning Saktaha. ভক্তিবিনোদ ঠাকুর, অতএব লোক সংগ্রহের জন্য বিদ্বান ব্যক্তি অনাসক্ত ভাবে যে সেই রূপ কার্য করুন, যে মতো অবিদ্বান ব্যক্তি আসক্ত হইয়া কর্ম করেন. Therefore, let the learned person carry out his duty of karma without attachment for the sake of public welfare in such a manner that the ignorant person can execute his duties of karma with attachment. অতএব বিদ্বান ও অবিদ্বানের কর্মের প্রকার পৃথক নয়। Therefore, the manner of carrying out the duties of karma is not distinct for the learned and the ignorant. केवल ताहादेर आसक्ति और अनासक्ति संबंधी निष्ठा ही पृथक, इहाई जानिबे। You should understand that it is only their internal attachment or non-attachment that is distinct between, that causes them to be distinct from each other. न बुद्धि भेदम जनयेत् अज्ञानाम कर्म संगिना जोशयेत् सर्व कर्माणि विद्वान युक्त समाचरम, so as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties. A learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. Alam karma jadimna. Enough of these inert activities of karma. Tvam karma sannyasam kritva. You should abandon the activities of karma. Jnanabhyasena ahamiva kirtharthi bhava. Make your life successful like me. Just engage in the repeated practice of the activities of the jnana system. Iti buddhi vedam na janayet. You should not disrupt their intelligence in this manner. Karma sanginam ashuddha antahkaranattvena karma sueva asakti matam. So one should not disrupt the intelligence of whom? Of those who are attached to karma. That means those who are only attached to the activities of karma because their minds are unclean. Kintu tvam kritarthi bhavishyan nishkama karmaiva kuru. Rather, with the desire to become successful, or while preparing to become successful, engage in the activities of karma without material desires. Nishkama karma. Engage in the same activities of karma without material desires. Iti karmanyeva yojayat karayat. In this way, you should cause them to engage in the duties of karma. You should make them engage in the activities of the varnashrama system. Atra karmani samacharan swayam eva drishtanti bhavet. So one should personally carry out the duties of karma, the duties of the varnashrama system, and he should make himself an example in this regard, so that people can see him and follow him. Nanu swayam nishayasam vidvan na vaktyagya karmahi na rati yogi no pathyam vanchattopi bhishaktamaha. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's trace this out. pure devotee who is fully accomplished in the science of devotion service will never instruct a foolish person to engage in fruitive activities. Fruitive activities refer to karma. Karma. Fruitive activities refer to activities of the karma system. For material enjoyment, not to speak of helping him in such activities. Such a devotee is like an experienced physician who never encourages a patient to eat food injurious to his health, even if the patient desires it. So this is placed as the beginning of an objection. So this is being quoted here. Ityajitavakyena etad virudhyate. So the current statement of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita contradicts this statement of Lord Ajita in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Satyam, true. Tat khalu bhakti upadeshtrika vishayam idam tu jnana upadeshtrika vishayam iti avirodha. Yes, there is an apparent contradiction, but actually there is no contradiction because uh, the statement in Srimad Bhagavatam pertains to uh, an instruction regarding bhakti, whereas the current verse in Bhagavad Gita pertains to an instruction regarding jnana. I'll come back to this a little later. ज्ञानस्य अंतःकरणशुद्ध्यधीनत्वात् तच्छुद्धेः तु निष्कामकर्म अधीनत्वात् भक्तेः तु स्वतः प्राबल्यात् अंतःकरणशुद्धिपर्यन्त अनपेक्षित्वात्. This is because to execute the duties of jnana, one first of all needs to have a clean mind. The mind has to be free from lust, anger, greed before one can begin the activities of the jnana system. And purification of the mind requires that one should have previously engaged in the duties of karma without a materialistic spirit. You should have engaged in nishkama karma. Bhakti hetu, but because bhakti is powerful by itself, it is not dependent on a pure mind. Okay, what it means is, right now here in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is saying that even if you are fit to engage in activities of the jnana system, you must engage in the activities of the karma system, and you should not disrupt the intelligence of people who think themselves qualified for the jnana system when in reality they are not. So therefore you should not disrupt their intelligence. But that does not apply for one who is promoting pure bhakti. Now, whenever you hear words like karma and jnana, you should immediately understand karma refers to bhakti mishra karma. It does not refer to karma which is devoid of bhakti, because that is useless. Similarly, when we hear about jnana, that jnana requires this or jnana can achieve this, it is understood that it is talking of bhakti mishra jnana. Because bhakti shunya jnana is useless. Bhakti that is jnana that is devoid of bhakti is just useless. Bhakti shunya karma is useless. Bhakti shunya jnana is also useless. So we are only talking of, when you hear karma, it means bhakti mishra karma. It means Vishnu bhakti mishra karma. Similarly, jnana means Vishnu bhakti mishra jnana, not Vishnu bhakti shunya karma or Vishnu bhakti shunya jnana. यदि भक्तौ श्रद्धाम उत्पादयितुं शक्नुयात् तदा कर्मेणाम बुद्धि भेदमपि जनयेत् भक्तौ श्रद्धावतां कर्म अनधिकारात्. If one can generate faith in bhakti, you should keep in mind pure bhakti, then one can even cause the disruption of intelligence of those who are engaged in karma. That is because For those who have developed Shraddha, faith in Bhakti, there is no, those who have developed faith in Bhakti are not required to engage in the activities of the karma system. They do not need to engage in the activities of the Varnashrama system. Now, what is Shraddha? Shraddha means faith. We know that. But actually, it means, from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary to the section on the eligibility of a person for engagement in Vaidhi Bhakti, there's a discussion about the nature of Shraddha. That Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out that Shraddha refers to unbreakable faith in Bhakti. It is also implicit that one has astikya. Without astikya, there is no question of progressing in karma or jnana or bhakti. That is separately understood from chapter 16 of Bhagavad Gita, which is basically general knowledge in Vedic culture. If you don't have faith in Vedic scriptures, if you don't have unbreakable faith in Vedic knowledge, then there's no question of progress in karma or progress in jnana or progress in bhakti. You need to have axiomatic, you need to accept the Vedas as being axiomatically true. That is called astikya. So that is preliminary. But for pure bhakti, one, in addition to that, one needs to have unbreakable faith in all aspects of bhakti. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out with regard to philosophical teachings, tattva, with regards to the goal, sadhya, and the means, sadhana. In other words, one needs to have unbreakable faith that the Vedic scriptures conclude in teaching Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan, to make things simple. That is on top of having unbreakable faith in the validity of the teachings of the Vedic scriptures. So if you can generate all of this in a person, then such a person is not required to engage in karma. So you can disrupt the intelligence of a person who's attached to karma if you can generate this kind of unbreakable faith in bhakti. Obviously, in either case, the personality has astikya or unbreakable allegiance to Vedic teachings. तावत् कर्माणि कुर्वीत न निर्विद्येत यावता मत्कथा श्रवणादो वा श्रद्धा यावन्न जायते इति धर्मान् संत्यज्य यः सर्वान् मां भजेत् स च सत्तमः इति सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज इति त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं शरणाम्बुजं हरेर्भजन्न पक्वोऽथ पतेत्ततो यदि इत्यादि वचनेभ्यः इति विवेचनीयम्. This should be understood on the basis of these scriptural statements which have been quoted here. Tavat karmani kurvita. One should engage in the activities of karma, should engage in varnashrama dharma until he attains nirveda, renunciation, or until faith is born, faith in Krishna, in the hearing and so on of Krishna Katha is developed. In other words, until one attains renunciation, or until he attains unbreakable faith in the process of bhakti. This again means that all I need to do is to engage in the activities of bhakti, and I don't need to do anything else. This is my only duty. I don't need to do anything else. Everything else will automatically, everything that I require will be supplied by Krishna if I do this. One who has this much faith, this is called Shraddha. This is, of course, a very high degree of faith, because we find in Srimad Bhagavatam even lower degrees of faith. For instance, Kardama Muni, in order to have a wife, he just engaged in devotional service. This itself is very high degree of faith, and this is not even the pure faith that is being spoken of here. It is in fact a material version of faith in bhakti. But even that, who would do things like that in today's world? even amongst practitioners of Krishna consciousness, it is extremely, it is just unheard of. Let me put it this way, that in order to have a wife, you engage in the activities of bhakti so that Krishna will be pleased and Krishna would give you a wife. Instead of that, what do our people do? They directly date. They directly try to line up some girl. Uh, so many things they do. So faith is a very, very loaded expression here. Shraddha. Dharma santijya sarvan mam bhajit sacha sattamaha. These are all statements from Uddhava Gita. Let me show you. Tavat karmani. As long as one is not satiated by fruitive activity or has not awakened his taste for devotional service by Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, one has to act according to the regular principles of the Vedic injunctions, referring to Vedic injunctions pertaining to fruitive activities or karma, activities of the karma system. Here, this is a basic point. Unless one has developed firm faith in Lord Krishna by association with pure devotees and is thus engaged full time in the devotional service of the Lord, one should not neglect ordinary Vedic principles and duties. This is a basic point. 11.20.9. The next verse is Dharman Santyajya Yasarvan Mam Bhajit Sacha Saptamaha. This was quoted by Lord Chaitanya also. Why it's not there? Is it in some other portion? Let me put it here. Why is it not there? Dharma Santyajya. Let me find it. Where is it? Yeah. Sasaptam. Okay. Here. Having taken complete shelter at my lotus feet, however, a saintly person ultimately renounces such ordinary religious duties and worships me alone. He is thus considered to be the best among all living entities. So, from this, it's very clear that he abandons even uh, the activities of the karma system. Here, it would be better to look at this entire verse. Agya evam gunan doshan mayadishtanapi swakha dharman santijya yassarvan mam bhajeta sasattamaha. Okay, let me trace this out in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The Lord Chaitanya also quotes this, so it will be useful to see this. Yeah, this is the Lord most probably speaking to the, yes, he's speaking to uh, the Tattvavadis. Yes, he's speaking to the Tattvavadis in Udupi. Occupational duties are described in the religious scriptures. If one analyzes them, he can fully understand their qualities and faults and then give them up completely to render service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A person who does so is considered a first class man. Knowing perfectly well the good qualities and defects uh, and having given up one's own occupational duties, even though they have been instructed by me, that person who renders service unto me is also a first class person. So, from this, we understand that even though Varnashama Dharma is ordered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, so having understood the advantages of Varnashama Dharma and also the disadvantages of Varnashama Dharma, when one abandons even them, that even them, uh, Mayadishtan api means even, although this also signifies that one obviously gives up adharma. Before we touch sarva dharman parityajya, we should first of all abandon adharma. Sarva adharman parityajya is understood. Sarva dharman parityajya comes later. So, after giving up adharma, if one gives up even varnashama dharma, even though it has been instructed by the Supreme Lord, and he engages in devotion service, then such a person is a first class person. So that is also stated. Then sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Abandon all varieties of dharma and just surrender unto me. त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं चरणाम्बुजं हरेर् भजन्न पक्वोऽथ पते ततो यदि यत्र क्वा भद्रमभूत्. Let's trace that out. That is here. First canto. Narada Muni's instruction. One who has forsaken his material occupations to engage in the devotion service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in the immature stage. Yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. So again, in all of these verses, we find a common theme that one can abandon karma in order to engage in bhakti, and such a person is considered the greatest person. So and we also see that the moment one develops faith, unbreakable faith in bhakti, provided he has astikya, of course. I need to say that because in today's world, astikya is not understood, but in Vedic culture, astikya is just implicitly understood. Everybody is expected to. Everybody in Vedic Dharma who is progressing towards the highest goal is expected to develop absolute faith, unbreakable faith in Vedic teachings, uh, in all the teachings of the Vedas, with regard to uh, Sambandha Vidya Prayojana, with regard to whatever exists, whatever is desirable, and whatever must be done. So when the Vedas talk about the fifth canto, for instance, there's not even a question of disbelieving. At the moment you disbelieve it, immediately you lost the game. So, and that is only preliminary faith. What to speak of uh, the factual faith in bhakti, being a pure bhakti, being the ultimate goal of all the scriptures. One should also understand that because one may have astikya, but one may not have this degree of faith in Sambandha Videya Prayojana as presented in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out here that for a person who has developed such unbreakable faith in scriptures and in Sambandha Videya Prayojana, because he is not anymore eligible to engage, practice, carry out the duties of the national system, such a person can be, uh, he, his mind can be disrupted. He can, Varnashama Dharma can be criticized for such a person, not for anyone else. That is the basic point. And therefore, we see uh, that Prabhupada, initially, he just wanted to make devotees of ISKCON into Nirapeksha Vaishnavas who simply engage in the activities of bhakti and do not even touch uh, anything other than bhakti within Vedic Dharma, and certainly they don't touch adharma. But over the years, as it has been well documented, when he noticed that the devotees were not taking uh, bhakti effectively. They were not taking to pure bhakti effectively, which itself signifies that they didn't take to bhakti the way they were meant to take advantage of them. If you don't take it up uh, the way it is meant to be uh, taken to, then you are no longer transcendental to considerations of Varnashra Dharma. Then you need to be just the ordinary practitioner of bhakti who needs to progress from karma jnana bhakti to jnana bhakti to bhakti. And then you move to bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. That is the ordinary pathway. That's also the extraordinary pathway. The extraordinary pathway, Prabhupada allowed it. He opened it. He opened that gate. But when he saw that people are hardly taking advantage of it for their own benefit and welfare, he stopped talking along those lines. And by 1977, he said that Varnashama Dharma is half of my mission, karma. Varnashama Dharma is the same as karma. It's half of my mission. So one should understand what one requires and what one doesn't require by um, taking the guidance of more advanced devotees and the pure devotee spiritual master. Then things become very, very clear. And of course, if one seeks pure devotion service unto Krishna's lotus feet, Krishna himself makes one understand quite easily. Okay. भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर कर्मेर तात्पर्य जे भक्ति उत्पादक ज्ञान ताहा जिनी ना जाने तिनी अज्ञ. That person who does not understand that the purport of karma or the intention behind karma is the achievement of jnana which generates bhakti. So a person who doesn't understand that, he is the ignorant person that is being spoken of here. সেই অজ্ঞতাবশতঃ তিনি কর্মের অবান্তর ফল রূপ ইতর কামকে স্বীকার করেন, অতএব তিনি কর্মসঙ্গী. Due to his ignorance, he accepts kama, sense enjoyment. Sense enjoyment for everything else. He has a desire for everything other than attainment of jnana that leads to bhakti. So these are all incidental benefits of the duties of karma. Therefore, such a person is called karma sangi, a person who is attached to karma. The expression sangi is a negative expression in Gaudiya Vaishnava Dharma. We hear Stri Sangi, Jana Sangi, Karma Sangi. It means being attached, and attached means being irrationally attached, or being obsessed with, or being addicted to. Not anga, but agya. ও কর্মসঙ্গী পুরুষকে তত্ত্বজ্ঞান তাৎপর্য বলিলে শ্রদ্ধার সহিত তাহাতে আগ্রহতা প্রকাশ করে না. When you explain the philosophical intent of karma being aimed at jnana that generates bhakti, ignorant people, ignorant men who are attached to karma do not respectfully exhibit eagerness to understand this. অতএব তাহাকে কর্ম জড়তা ত্যাগ করিবার উপদেশ না দিয়া বিদ্বান লোক নিষ্কাম কর্মযোগ সহকারে স্বয়ং কর্ম আচরণ পূর্বক তাহাকে চিত্তশুদ্ধির জন্য কর্মের উপদেশ দিবেন. Therefore, not instructing them to abandon the inertness of the activities of karma, the learned person should engage in the activities of karma personally, in nishkama karma, and he should instruct others to engage in the activities of karma. He should instruct them to engage in the activities of the varnashram system to attain chitta shuddhi, to attain purification of the mind. That means freedom from lust, anger, greed. In other words, anartha nivritti. This is the actual purpose of the varnashram system. This is the actual purpose of karma. Why are women instructed to engage in Stri Dharma? Why are men instructed to accept one of the four varnas or one of the four ashramas and meticulously carry out? It is all meant for anartha nivritti. It is meant for chitta shuddhi, hrid vishuddhi, purification of the heart from lust, anger, greed. So one should instruct them to engage in these very same activities so that their hearts can become free from lust, anger, greed. They should be told this. These activities will lead you to this. So it is very useful. Please do not give these up. Sahasa tahar buddhi bhe janmaite cheshta korile. If you endeavor to suddenly create a disruption of their intelligence, tahar mongol hoibe na. They will not attain auspiciousness. Jnana upadesh diger prati amar ei upadesh janibe. You should understand that this instruction pertains to those who are instructing people about the jnana system. In other words, it is for those who want to uplift people from the karma platform to jnana platform. Jahara bhakti upadesh karen. Those who instruct bhakti, those who instruct pure devotional service, taha der bhakti upadesh nahe. This is not an instruction relevant to persons who instruct about pure bhakti. Jehetu, because bhakti sambandhe antahkaran shuddhi varjanto apekha nahe. Because for executing Shuddha Bhakti, you do not need to have a clean mind. You don't. Anyone can take up the process of Shuddha Bhakti if they have faith. For instance, we know in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Narada Muni instructs Mrigari to simply chant Hare Krishna and honor Tulasi. Haridas Thakur, he talks to a prostitute and makes her into a spotlessly pure devotee. He simply tells her, constantly chant the holy names of Krishna and serve Tulasi. That's all. But in both cases, you notice that they accept it with absolute faith. With absolute faith. Even if you 1% doubt, 1% you hesitate, you have lost it. That's you accept means you accept it. That's it. Absolutely you accept it. Then you're saved. If you cannot do that, then you're not in that special track. You're in the ordinary track. And if you're in the ordinary track, then you need to give up adharma, engage in bhakti with jnana and karma, with the aim of upgrading yourself to the platform of bhakti with jnana, but without karma and adharma, with the aim of coming to the platform of bhakti without jnana and without karma and without adharma, with the aim of coming to bhava bhakti, with the aim of coming to prema bhakti. And this may take a long time. It doesn't matter because unidirectional progress is what is required. इहा परे विशेष रूपे विचार करिबो. I will analyze this in I will specifically analyze this later on. These are Lord Krishna's thoughts in this regard. Then 27. Prakriteh kriyamānāni gunaih karmāni sarvashah ahankara vimūಢātmā kartāham iti manyate. Where did I come? The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. Shri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, Nanu yadi vidvanapi karma kuryat tarhi vidvat avidushoho को विशेषः इत्याशङ्क्य तयोः विशेषं दर्शयति. The Supreme Lord then considers that Arjuna might object, if both the learned and the ignorant have to engage in the duties of karma or varnashrama karma, then what is the distinction between the learned and the ignorant? Anticipating this, Lord Krishna points out their distinction in two verses, beginning with the verse starting with Prakrite. Prakrite gunaihi karyaihi indriyaihi सर्वशः सर्वप्रकारेण क्रियमाणानि यानि कर्माणि तानि अहमेव कर्ता करोमि इति अविद्वान् मन्यते. The ignorant person thinks that all of the activities that are in every way carried out by the modes of material nature, which refer to the effects of material nature, which refers to the senses. The senses are products of material nature. So the person thinks that I am the one who is performing these activities. The ignorant person thinks like this. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, विद्वान व अभिज्ञानेर भेद बोली श्रवण कर. I'll talk about the distinction between the learned and the ignorant. Listen. अविद्या द्वारा जड़ा प्रकृति ते आबद्ध होइया जीव प्राकृत अहंकार बशतः प्रकृति गुण द्वारा क्रियमान समस्त कार्य के स्वीय कार्य मने करिया आमी कर्ता ए रूप अभिमान करे. The living entity, being bound to material nature due to avidya or nescience or ignorance, considers himself to be the doer. He considers that all the activities which are performed by the modes of material nature are actually carried out by him. This is because he is influenced by material false ego. Ihai Oviddaner Lokkon. This is a characteristic of the ignorant. Tattvavittु Mahabaho Guna Karma Vibhagayo Guna Guneshu Vartanta Itimatva na Sajjate. One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth or mighty art does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work and devotion and work for fruitful results. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Guna Karmanoho Yau Vibhagau Tayoho Tattvam Veti iti Saha. This person, the learned person, he knows the truth about the distinction between guna and karma. Tatra guna vibhagah sattva rajas tamamsi karma vibhagah sattvaadi karya bhedaah devata indriya vishayaah. The distinctions of the gunas are sattva, rajoguna, tamoguna. The distinctions of karma refer to the effects of sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna, and they refer to the devatas, the senses and sense objects. Tayos tattvam swarupam tagyaha tu tatovit. And one who knows the truth in this verse refers to a person who knows the truth about the gunas and about the karmas. Here, karma refers to uh, the products of material nature. In other words, he knows about the modes of material nature and the products of material nature. The products of material nature are the supervisors of the senses, the devas, the senses, and the objects of the senses. Gunaha, devataha, प्रयुज्यानीन्द्रियाणि चक्षुरादीनि गुणेषु विषयेषु वर्तन्ते. The modes are engaged in the modes. What this means is the modes uh, referring to the devas who use the senses such as the eyes to engage them with the objects of the senses. Aham tu na gunaha, napi guna karyah kopi, but I am not uh, a mode of material nature, or and I'm not an effect of the modes of material nature also. Napi guneshu guna karyeshu teshu kopi me sambandha, and I have no relationship with the modes of material nature or the effects of the modes of material nature. Iti matva, understanding this, vidwamstu na sajjate, the learned person does not become attached. The learned person does not get uh, does not become overwhelmed in bewilderment. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Hey Mahabaho, O mighty aunt, तत्व विद्वान पुरुष प्राकृत गुण कर्म के आत्मा होती पृथक जानिया ताहा संग करें ना. A learned person who knows the truth does not become attached. He knows uh, that his self is distinct from material modes and activities. এইমাত্র মনে করেন যে they only consider আমি পৃথক, I am separate from this. ঘটনাবশতঃ প্রকৃতিতে আবদ্ধ হইয়া, circumstantially I have become bound to prakriti. প্রকৃতির গুণকর্ম দ্বারা কার্য করিতেছি, and I am carrying out these activities under the influence of prakriti's modes and activities or products. Prabhupada has explained this. The knower of the absolute truth is convinced of his awkward position in material association. He knows that he is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and that his position should not be in the material creation. He knows his real identity as part and parcel of the Supreme, who is eternal bliss and knowledge. And he realizes that somehow or other he is entrapped in the material conception of life. In his pure state of existence, he is meant to dovetail his activities in devotion service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. He therefore engages himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness and becomes naturally unattached to the activities of the material senses, which are all circumstantial and temporary. He knows that his material condition of life is under the supreme control of the Lord. Consequently, he is not disturbed by all kinds of material reactions, which he considers to be the mercy of the Lord. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, one who knows the absolute truth in three different features, namely Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is called Tattvavit, for he knows also his own factual position in relationship with the Supreme. So, this person, he may be carrying out the same duties, material duties, that a person who's not interested in attaining liberation may be carrying out in Vedic Dharma. But he possesses internal insight, and therefore he is not a slave to the six urges. Text 29. Prakrater gunasammudha sajjante gunakarmasu tana kritsna vido mandang kritsnavinna vichalayet. Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. ननु यदि जीवा गुणेभ्यः गुणकार्येभ्यश्च पृथग्भूताः तत् असम्बन्धास्तर्हि कथं ते विषयेषु सज्जन्तः दृश्यन्ते? Objection. If the living entities are separate from the modes of material nature and the products of the modes of material nature, and if they have no relationship with them at all, then how is it that we see that they are attached to sense objects? Tatraha. In that regard, he speaks this verse. Prakrittehe gunaihi samudhaha tat aveshat prapta sammohaha. They're bewildered by the modes of Prakriti. यथाभूत आविष्टः मनुष्यः आत्मानं भूतमेव मन्यते. Just as a man who is overcome by a ghost considers himself to be a ghost, तथैव प्रकृतिगुण आविष्टाः जीवाः स्वान् गुणान् एव मन्यन्ते. Similarly, those who are overcome by the modes of Prakriti, those jivas who are overcome by the modes of Prakriti, they simply consider themselves to be those modes of material nature. Ataha gunakarmasu gunakaryeshu vishayeshu sajjante. Therefore, they are attracted to the activities of the modes of material nature, which means they are attached to the products of the modes of material nature. In other words, they become attached to sense objects. The activity of the modes of material nature is is to connect the senses and sense objects. So therefore, they become attached to sense objects. Tan akritsna vidaha mandam matin kritsna vid sarvagyaha na vichalayet. So a person who knows everything about this, he should not agitate those who do not know everything about it. In other words, should not agitate those who are dull-headed. त्वं गुणेभ्यः पृथग्भूतः जीवः न तु गुणः इति विचारं प्रापयितुं न यतते. He does not endeavor to make them come to the consideration that you are a living entity separate from the modes. You are not the mode of material nature. They do not endeavor to bring that person to this point of analysis. Kintu guna avesha nivartakam nishkama karma eva karayet. Rather, he should cause these people to engage in nishkama karma. He should cause them to engage in the activities of the varnashrama system without a desire for sense enjoyment in this life or the next life. He should train them to engage in nishkama karma. न हि भूताविष्टः मनुष्यस्त्वं न भूतः किन्तु मनुष्य एवेति शतकृत्वोऽपि उपदेशेन स्वास्थ्यम् आपद्यते. Certainly, you cannot bring a person to a normal condition. You cannot bring a ghost haunted person to normalcy by instructing him even 100 times. You are overcome by a ghost. You are a man. You are not that ghost. You are just a man. So even if you instruct a ghost haunted man 100 times like this, you cannot bring him to normalcy. Kintu tan nivartaka aushadha mani mantra adi prayogena eva iti bhavaha. But by utilizing medicines, gems, mantras and so on, which cause the ghost to leave. You bring him to normalcy. This is the implication here. Now, one should not uh, develop the misconception that Prabhupada has trained us to disobey the instructions of Lord Krishna here. Actually, these are simply referring to if a person is engaged faithfully with astikya in the activities of the karma system, uh, even then that person also should be trained to engage in nishkama karma. That is not in opposition to the letter or spirit of Krishna's teachings, even in this section. It is not that we are not meant to disturb people at all. Rather, don't disrupt them beyond their capacity. If a person does not have unbreakable faith in bhakti and you're unable to generate it in him, then you should engage him in nishkama karma, which is actually the sattvic manner of participation in varnashama dharma, and uh, encourage him to come to the next higher level of the mode of goodness, the Jnana platform, in order to come to pure transcendence or pure sadhana bhakti, which will lead to pure bhava bhakti and which will lead to pure prema bhakti. But uh, people who are engaged in anyabhilashita, adharma, uh, we must disrupt their intelligence. Krishna nowhere in Bhagavad Gita says that you should not go to a sinful person and try to bring him to the platform of dharma, uh, and then help that person move step by step from karma to jnana to pure bhakti, pure sadhana bhakti, and then pure bhava bhakti, and then pure prema bhakti. Nowhere you'll find. Here, Krishna is only talking about those who are already engaged faithfully in the process of karma. The vast majority of the world, including in India, are not at all engaged in that. They are engaged in anyabhilashita. And therefore, we should clearly understand that the real spirit of Lord Krishna, both in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, is to forcefully preach, forcefully propagate Krishna consciousness to those who are uh, in a very sinful situation. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also, in a short while, he will bring up this point. He will talk about what to do about people who are excessively contaminated, and we will see that. Okay, I will stop with this now.